Things are absolutely getting expensive out on the water, which is leading to people having to come up with creative ways to store things out on the water. But somehow, I just got the feeling this guy took it just a little too far. Welcome back, guys, to this week's episode of Boating News of the Week. On last week's episode of Boating News, we decided to do a giveaway and we wound up giving away a Drain Plug Mafia tumbler, and congratulations to Phil Howell on winning that. We'll go ahead and give another one away in this video. It's real simple. All you have to do to qualify, hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and leave a comment below, and we'll pick from somebody who's done those three things, and we're going to give away another tumbler. Our first story to make the boating news this week is going to take us over to Devonport, Tasmania, where this past Friday, the cement carrier Goliath wound up crashing into two docked tugboats. The two tugboats that were docked along the wall were the Campbell Cove and the York Cove, and fortunately there were no crew members on board either vessel at the time of the incident. Port officials say that early assessments indicate that the two tugboats, which have now both sank, were not repairable. At this time, an investigation is underway to try and determine the cause of this incident, but still at this time, very little information has been released as to what actually caused the Goliath to cause this accident. But early estimations of the damage totals on this are huge. Port officials are claiming that to replace the damaged tugs, repairing the wharf, and also salvaging the damaged tugs could cost millions of dollars, and that doesn't even include the environmental impact cleanup, which could be large as well, as it's being reported that the two tugboats had approximately 60,000 liters of fuel on board at the time of the sinking. Fortunately, emergency response officials were able to quickly deploy floating oil spill prevention booms, hopefully minimizing the environmental impact. Our next story to make the boating news this week is going to take us a little bit north to our friends up in Canada, in the St. Lawrence River near Quebec City. And this was the scene seen in these images here a little over a week ago, where it appears the Canadian Coast Guard icebreaker Pierre Radisson somehow has gotten either stuck in the ice or stalled out for some reason. But no worries, they're about to get a little help from their stern, as the Federal Crimson bulk carrier, the vessel that they were cutting the ice for, is unable to stop to match the speed of the Pierre Radisson, and the two vessels wind up colliding. Fortunately, in this incident, no injuries were reported, but the hull of the icebreaker was damaged in the collision. Fortunately, the vessel was not taking on water, so the Canadian Coast Guard was able to move the vessel to St. Nicholas, where the damage will be assessed and repairs will be made before the vessel returns back to Quebec City. Fortunately, another Coast Guard icebreaker, the De Glacier, will be taking over for the Pierre Radisson until the repairs can be made. Unfortunately for the Canadian Coast Guard, it was a rough week that week, as this was the second vessel that was put out of service. The oceanic research vessel, the Hudson, also had to make an unplanned stop due to mechanical failure, which actually led to early retirement of that vessel without replacement. Our next story to make the boating news this week is going to show us a daring rescue and take us over to Europe, where this past week, Dutch and Belgium rescue services successfully rescued 18 crew members from a bulk carrier that was drifting off the coast of the Netherlands. The vessel had broke free from its anchorage in nasty weather and apparently also suffered damage to its rudder, causing the vessel to be not under control. During that period, the vessel actually collided with another chemical tanker and the foundation of a wind farm before rescue services could arrive. Once the crew was pulled off the vessel, salvage services were contacted to try and tow the vessel back into port. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Boating News of the Week. If you ever see anything crazy happening out on your waterways, be sure to hit me up on Facebook or Instagram and let me know, and you might see your stories over here, just like Eli Chapman, Chris Tideman, and Richard Shapiro did this week. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.